What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Pan Fro Games. In today's episode, we have some more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news and leak updates to share with you all today. In today's episode, we got some new images of demo boxes to discuss. We also have some new riddles from Riddler Coup themselves and much more. And of course, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate it. Let's begin with the Scarlet and Violet boxes. So we have the boxes out in the wild. Doesn't necessarily mean the game is there, but these are more like an in-store promo item. And we have the boxes, we have little stand-ups of the starters, of the characters, and we even get to see the back of the boxes for the first time too, of the final retail version. So this is pretty interesting. No new information, but we do know that the game is being shipped out to stores as we speak. And it looks like this store in China may have actually already gotten their shipment, which is super interesting. And when we get a little bit of a closer look, we can actually see the back of the box directly, and it just says 4-player co-op, has the starters on it, and it just has some cut scenes on the back of it. Nothing too crazy. There's only some minor differences between the back of the Scarlet and Violet boxes, but nothing that's really worth mentioning. Just a couple of these images at the top are a little bit different. Nothing I can tell that would actually say, oh, this Pokemon is exclusive to Scarlet and Violet outside of the two legendary Pokemon. However, there is something incredibly interesting about these boxes. So on the top right of the box, there's a message that reads this in Chinese. When translated to English, we have some cartridges. No need to wait till release date. Test play. Please contact Mr. Lee. Seems like they claim to have the game. So the people here showing the box off right here, they apparently actually have the game right now. So yes, this may just be empty boxes right here, but apparently they have the game, and they're going to be letting people in the store play test the game for free, like a little demo. So we may actually see some leaks from this, from like people just playing the game for a little bit, maybe showing off some new Pokemon, maybe someone actually played a game and get a starter evolution, because it is relatively quick to get a Pokemon to like level 16. So be on the lookout. We're going to see some real stuff soon. And I also wouldn't be surprised if we actually get a new Pokemon trailer really soon, especially because we're 18 days away from release, or maybe 17. So this is really exciting stuff. The hype is here, and I cannot wait. And any day now, the game is going to leak online in the various forms of images or just gameplay. And then eventually we're going to get a data mine, which on average is about 4 to 10 days before release date. So probably not this week, but I can see a data mine occurring actually sometime next week. So just be on the lookout for that. And speaking of the data mine, we actually had a fake data mine occur today. So Yo Raiden says, learn something new today. So in the spirit of learning and helping everyone identify a fake, Switch title IDs are in hexadecimal, which means the only possible letters are A to F. Sorry, there are no U's allowed. So this image popped up on 4chan, and 4chan is a place, it's a message board where a lot of people are posting tons of fake Pokemon leaks, and this was of course just one of them. Someone posted this image of starting to dump a Pokemon Scarlet, but then we saw the U, and we know that it was fake based on hexadecimal numbers. So just be on the lookout, because a lot of people are trying to dupe fans, content creators, influencers on the internet, and there is going to be some legit stuff eventually, but the fact is everyone's trying to get their 2 seconds of fame right now. So just be on that lookout. Now to some fun content. We got some Riddler Coup riddles and leaks to figure out. So Riddler Coup says, what shape is for PS? So if you don't know, PS stands for Paradox Suicune. Paradox Suicune is going to be a version exclusive Paradox form for Suicune in Pokemon Scarlet. However, it is going to be tied to the first DLC, and there's going to be Paradox Virizion for Pokemon Violet, so you can see the S and the V with the first letters of their names, right? So what shape is Paradox Suicune? So we got like this sort of T-Rex looking, we got this pig with wings, we got something on all fours, which is currently what Suicune is, and then we got a bipedal. I'm going to make a guess here. I don't think it's going to be bipedal. I don't think it'll be like this either, like a dinosaur. I think it's going to be more like this. I think they're going to give Suicune wings. It makes a lot of sense. Suicune is a water type. However, I can see a lot of flying motifs to its general design. Also, it does get a lot of flying moves too. So it does make sense to make it a water and flying type. It's going to be really interesting to see how that performs competitively. But if it is as good as regular Suicune, then it's going to be pretty good overall. But let me know in the comment section below below. What type do you think Paradox Suicune is going to be? And what do you think is going to look like? Bipedal, all fours, think it's going to be on 2 legs, will look like a dinosaur, or is going to be on all fours with wings? Because it's very interesting, and we won't even know until Scarlet and Violet releases, maybe, because it is DLC, and apparently they're hinted at in the game. And for Riddler's next riddle, he says, let's play some quick riddles when you have nothing to watch temporarily. Who is she? New poke. So clearly this is some sort of knot. Not sure what that actually relates to. However, this Twitter user here has a pretty good idea. I actually think this is a Fido Evolution. Notice how it has a knot on its tail. I guess this implies Fido's evolution will be feminine. It could also mean it evolves into a pretzel dog because pretzels are bread knots. So I think that's a really good idea. Like, I'm also thinking of garlic knots as another thing. I mean, we know that this is a bread dog. So garlic knots, a pretzel dog is actually pretty funny too. And I can see it being feminine because it is a fairy type, and they usually lean into the more feminine side of things for fairy type Pokemon. So maybe that is a hint at Fido's evolution. We actually haven't heard too much from anyone about Fido's evolution, so I can actually believe that. And for the Riddler's next riddle, he says, Hammer Lollylegs bullying a Gen 8 Pokemon. Guess who this poor little guy is? So if you don't know who Hammer Lolly is, it is a steel and fairy type Pokemon. It is going to be a 3-stage Pokemon, and fairy and steel type is phenomenal typing. It's probably the best typing in all the Pokemon, you know, Zacian typing. And it's so good that it's an ace Pokemon for one of the Elite 4 trainers. So this Pokemon is also attainable in the early game, so may actually want to put this thing on your team. But apparently its Dex entry has some sort of lore with another Pokemon who's another little guy. And looking back on one of Riddler's past tweets, he replies here to Hammer Fairy with some Chinese text. And when you translate the text, it says, hitting birds. So this fairy steel lolly hammermon has some beef with some bird Pokemon. And we know that Corviknight is in the game, and it could potentially be a new bird. It could be the new electric flying bird. But Corviknight is a steel type, so it would make sort of sense for 2 steel type mons to sort of have beef with each other. And then lastly, there's a couple more leaks here. Riddler says, you better balance 3 lines simultaneously, essentially saying there's 3 paths to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We know that getting the gym badges, defeating Team Star, defeating the Titans, because there is no level scaling. You don't want to do one path and then completely outscale another path, and then it's going to be too easy for you. So essentially you want to balance out to all 3 lines, which makes a lot of sense, and that's how I'm going to personally play the game myself. Riddler also mentions the mice family, which is apparently going to have multiple forms, and we already knew it was going to have 2 forms, but apparently one form is much harder to get than the others. And he says it's super rare and it does not have the ability Parental Bond. So that means his Pokemon is not as good as I thought it was. So I'm glad we got the ability debunked. So I'm probably not going to use the mice Pokemon on my team. Riddler also says the Dark Dog line, we know there's a Dark Dog that evolves once, and it starts as an orange dog and then it becomes gray. So we know the colors. So definitely be on the lookout for fake leaks using a dog Pokemon with those colors, because that's definitely what's going to happen after today's video. And lastly, exclusive riddle, Pink, say hi to your new Titan. So this seems to be a segmented worm. We know that one of the Titans is a pure steel type worm Pokemon and is apparently a segmented worm. So maybe the worm is going to be like an Alaskan bullworm. It's going to be very long and pink, but it's going to be in segments, maybe more like a type of food. Very interested in seeing the Titan Pokemon for sure. Hopefully we get a new trailer this week because we need more Pokemon. We've only seen 20 officially so far. Well, guys, that is all of the news and leak updates I have for you for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Keep it tuned for this channel for future updates on the games, guides, let's plays, competitive, shiny hunting, and everything else in between. And of course, if you're new, please subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.